A vessel proceeding along the course of a narrow channel of fairway shall keep as near to the outer limit of the channel of fairway which lies on her starboard side as is safe and practicable.
This makes sense if you think of a head-on situation where you've both got to alter to starboard to pass down the port side of each other. So in a narrow channel or fairway, just stick to that starboard side, so then when you're passing other vessels, you will be passing port to port.
A vessel of less than 20 meters in length of a sailing vessel shall not impede the passage of vessels which can safely navigate only with a narrow channel or safely. It means those again a guideline for a small vessel as well as for sailing crafts to keep away from ships that can safely navigate only within a narrow channel or fairway, since the small vessel and the sailing craft can always use the slower part of the channel. Any should not impede the passage of a large ship. A vessel engaged fishing shall not impede the passage of any other vessel navigating within a narrow channel or fairway.
Small vessel approaching, and we have a sailing vessel approaching. Both of these must not impede the passage of the vessel in the channel, but they are free to go in the channel. As soon as they're navigating within the channel or fairway, a fishing vessel cannot impede their passage. So the fishing vessel cannot impede the passage of any of the other vessels, but the other two vessels cannot impede the passage of a vessel which can safely navigate only within the channel or fairway.
A vessel shall not cross a narrow channel or fairway if such crossing impedes the passage of a vessel which can safely navigate only within such channel or fairway. The latter vessel may use the sound signal prescribed in Rule 34 if in doubt as to the intention of the first crossing vessel.
The crossing impedes the passage of the white vessel, and the white vessel can sound 5 short and rapid blasts if she is unsure as to the intention of the crossing vessel. But remember, Rule 15 will still apply. This can still be a crossing situation. We're talking about do not impede, which goes back to Rule 8, which does not relieve the giveaway vessel of her obligation to keep out of the way.
In a narrow channel or fairway, when the overtaking can take place only if the vessel to be overtaken has to take action to permit safe passing, the vessel intending to overtake shall indicate her intention to sounding the appropriate signal prescribed in Rule 34. The vessel to be overtaken shall, if the agreement sound the appropriate signal prescribed in Rule 34, and taken step to permit safe passing. If in doubt, she may sound a signal prescribed in Rule 34. It means this request signal and has to be answered by the ship ahead, either in the affirmative by sounding in pro-large or short, one pro-large and one short blast, and ship ahead should go to one side of the channel and allow sea room for the other ship to overtake. Next, this rule does not relieve the overtaking vessel on her obligation under the Rule 30.
Fairway and a red vessel coming up behind, and the red vessel wants to overtake. If she wanted to go down the starboard side of the tanker, she could sound 2 prolonged blasts followed by 1 short blast to indicate, I intend to overtake you on your starboard side. Likewise, if she wanted to overtake on the port side, it would be 2 prolonged followed by 2 short blasts. For today, we're going to assume that she's going to sound 2 prolonged followed by 1 short blast, so she wants to overtake the tanker on the tanker's starboard side. If the tanker is in agreement, she can sound Morse Charlie, prolonged, 1 short, 1 prolonged, 1 short blast. If she was not in agreement, she could sound 5 short and rapid blasts. But today, she's going to be in agreement, and once in agreement she would take steps to permit safe passing, which would involve moving out to port to allow more space on her starboard side so the red vessel can come up and overtake. Obviously, the red vessel is not relieved of her obligation of keeping out of the way, so she's still got to keep out of the way of the tanker until she has finally passed and clear. But this part of the rule allows her to ask for a bit of assistance given that she's in a narrow channel.
A vessel meaning a bend or an area, a narrow channel of firing, whether or vessel may be obscribed by an intervening obstruction, shall navigate with particular alertness and caution, or shall sound appropriate signal prescribed in Rule 34.
Area that the vessel can't see past, so she does not know if another vessel is approaching. Of course, she's navigating down the starboard side of the channel or fairway, but as she approaches the bend, she needs to sound one prolonged blast. If there was another vessel approaching, she would expect to hear one prolonged blast in reply. This is just giving her an indication there's another vessel there. But in addition, she needs to navigate with particular alertness and caution, given that she cannot see what is round the corner. This bit is kind of common sense anyway.
Page is any vessel shall, if the circumstances of the case admit, avoid arching in the narrow channel. It means a general advice. Circumstances of the case admit means as far as possible the should not occur, but if due to some extraordinary circumstances she has to occur, then she should have to warn all vessel and take special care.